We have a really special guest with us today, accomplished artist, instructor with the Columbus Recreation and Parks for how long?
I'm in my 7th year.
7th year. Didn't seem a day over 20. Right? Terri Maloney-Houston is now at
Woodward
Park Center, which is up on Carl Road, north side. And back when I was in the recreation side, we did a lot of projects together back in those days. And want to introduce Terri and let her take you on a journey of the art that's actually being made outside of the walls here by children.
Thank you. Thanks, Todd. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk to you and in support of the exhibition that's right outside here. Like Todd said, my name is Terri and I work for Columbus Recreation and Parks Department. I started in 2010 as a full-time recreation leader, but I had taught part-time and in and out and in camps and different things for a number of years before that. And even a little backstory before that, I was a kid growing up in Columbus and I was complaining to my classmates at St. James the Less that we only had art once a week and it was only for 45 minutes, and why was that? Why couldn't we have it every day? And then somehow I think my parents found out about the recreation center and they started taking me there, and then I got a little bit happier. So, you know, I spent some time at Linden Recreation Center, I spent some time at Cook Road Recreation Center, and in my head still lives a little gray elephant that I made out of clay. I don't know what happened to it. I think my siblings probably broke it, but it still lives right up there. And, you know, I was just gung-ho for art in high school, and I didn't have any career aspirations. Very few people of the generation before me went to college, but you know, I just walked down the street and enrolled in Ohio State and found the art department, and I was happy. And I didn't think I wanted to teach, although I have ended up teaching in non-academic settings since college. But I just did a major in studio ceramics. And I just loved it, and I just figured when I get out, I'll waitress and I'll do whatever I want to do studio-wise, and I'll figure it out. And so that is probably not the brightest career plan, but it has worked for me. And so I'm very happy to be here. And I tell everybody that asks me where I work, I have the best job in the world. I love it. I can see no point in time where I will want to retire, because every day I just get energy from what goes on in my little art room. So I have a small art room in a community recreation center, and we do mostly children's programming. We have a few adult classes, but I'm here to talk mostly about the children's art that we do in the community recreation center. So I made a very, very basic PowerPoint. I'm not very technical, so we'll go through this and then I'll show you some examples of what's been made in my art room, and then there's plenty of other examples out in the hall that you can look at, and I'm happy to take questions at any point. You can stop me at any point. But I titled my PowerPoint, Children's Art Programs in the Columbus Recreation and Parks Department, The City's Best Kept Secret. Oftentimes when I'm there at the rec center and new people walk in and I'm at the desk and I'm saying, can I help you? And I show them the program flyer, they're like, you have art classes? Wow! So I don't think it's well known that we offer art classes in our recreation centers, but we do, and they're great. Let me see if I'm pushing the right button. Yes. The Columbus Recreation and Parks Department, which also manages the Cultural Arts Center here, was founded in 1910, and we have grown to the point where we have lots of parks and 30 community centers, 6 golf courses, trails, lots of different programs, sports, fitness, and art. So that's the point of this slide. Our belief is that expressing oneself through art has a positive impact on individuals and our community as a whole. And, you know, I do have to share that it doesn't really matter where you are when you walk into an art program in one of our community centers. You know, you can be like wanting to color with crayons, or you can be wanting to make something on the pottery wheel. You know, we deal with all levels. I think here you guys have the ability to extend that for adults into like more advanced kind of projects. But you can walk into our rec centers, and I'm sure you can here too, with no experience, and we'll find something to help you express yourself creatively. We have lots of different offerings to choose from: painting, ceramics, sculpture, and we also have theater. Most classes are very low cost or free. So these are just some images of kids that I've worked with. We have after school programs. We have a day camp in the summer. I have art on Saturday all day. But the classes are usually anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the age. Well, actually, the preschool classes are a little shorter because they want to get in, make something, and get out. They're moving, they're just always moving. But this was an elementary, just drawing and painting class, and these two little girls were very proud of what they made. Self-portraits. They were made with oil pastels, and then painted with tempera paint, and then they love glitter, so occasionally we get the glitter out, but not until their picture is all the way done. Can't get the glitter out until the picture is all the way done. This was made in a teen art class, and it's dry chalk and white acrylic paint, and instead of using a paintbrush to put the paint on, the white lines are paint. But sometimes I feel like kids or people that haven't done a lot of painting, they're kind of intimidated by working with a paintbrush. So in this one, instead of using a paintbrush, we used a little square of cardboard. And we just dipped it in the white paint, and then we made all the straight lines with the little square of cardboard, and then we took a styrofoam cup and dipped it in the white paint and made the circle. And then they used different colors of dry chalk to fill in the different colors. But kids were happy with it. I was happy with it. Oh, and using it on black paper, that's another thing that kind of, you know, brings a little excitement to a 2D project, is trying a different background color, I think. You know, sometimes you want to talk about perspective and movement and things like that in an art class, and you know, it's kind of an abstract concept, but you know, we had some blow-up beach balls, and we were just talking about, you know, we lined them up, and we were just talking about, well, the one behind the one in front looks a little smaller, and you know, and then I just had them trace circles, and then you know, we have various sizes of circles, and it just really, it makes it click that, you know, you got perspective and you got movement by where you place your shapes on the page. And so I personally was really happy with this lesson, because I thought, well, that kind of really hits it. And it was summer, and they liked the beach balls, and very colorful. This was another painting class that I did. God bless the internet, that's all I can say. I can go online and find lessons that teachers from all around the country have designed, and I can adapt them to, you know, the age group that I have, or the materials that I have, or whatever. So this was a project that a teacher out in California did with her elementary kids, and the kids loved it. The other thing that's really kind of a thing that I emphasize in my art classes is the whole page has to be painted. You can't just put the bird in the middle of the thing and leave it on a white background, because, you know, the bird has to have a world to live in. So, and then that really just, you know, it helps a lot. That's all I can say. We do preschool art, and it's very, I won't say challenging, but, you know, I have to be very creative with the kinds of things that we do with the preschoolers, because like I said, they're moving all the time. They want to be moving. So for this piece, what we did was they drew their family on the paper with black. Well, I use oil pastels a lot. Black oil pastels, and then we took the paper outside and I had paint and squirt bottles. And we hung them on the fence and we squirted them with different colors of paint. And they turned out great. So sometimes we have some real wins. And this was another one where paint was in squeeze bottles. This was elementary kids, but they had to paint the background first, and they had to put warm colors on one side and cool colors on the other, and they had to have that all done before I let them have the squeeze bottles. And then the paper was down on the floor, and they could take that paint in the squeeze bottle. And sometimes when kids are drawing or painting, you know, their hands want to do little tiny things. But when you put the paint in a squeeze bottle or you put it on a sponge or something like that, they have to make bigger motions, and that seems to be exciting. It involves more of their body. We do a lot of ceramics in the recreation centers. This was a group from OSU that were making bowls for our Empty Bowls program. So if you're not familiar with that, all the rec centers make ceramic bowls in the fall, and then we have a big sale and luncheon, and then all the money that we raise goes to the Mid-Ohio Food Pantry. So this was a group of Ohio State students that came to Wilbur Park and made bowls for Empty Bowls. I personally, in my center, also have groups that come from the Ohio Association for the Developmentally Disabled, and I had no special training to work with that population, and when they contacted me at first, before I even started working full-time for the Recreation Department, I was working part-time at Tuttle. I had a friend that worked in one of the sheltered workshops, and she said, we'd really like to bring a group for a clay class. And I'm like, well, I don't have any special training, but I'll be happy. They are the best group to work with. They are so open to trying things, and you know, they just make really cool stuff. So this was one project we did where we made kind of a bust thing, and we left the head open so it became a planter. And you know, instead of trying to put, you know, glaze on it that sometimes runs and whatever, we just painted it, we stained it, and then we painted it with acrylic paints, and they just, I was happy with that project, and the people were over the moon with it. Every year we make pumpkins out of clay. I do it every year, and I think people are going to be tired of it, but they love it. And then to switch it up, we put white, the pumpkin clay is the terracotta clay that fires red, and then I have white teeth that we put in there, and it just, you know, every one is different. They're so fun. We have performing arts, we have theater in the department. They recently did, well, they do plays like constantly, but you can get online and find out where, and I have also some information about where these programs are being offered, but they do like a 6 or 8 week rehearsal. They have costumes they make. Oftentimes it's a musical, and then they do a whole weekend of performances. Sometimes they tie it with something else. Last year they had, what play was that where the kid comes and says, I want more. They had bowls.
I can see the poster.
Yeah, yeah. They related it with the Empty Bowls program. It's something like that. It's where there's an orphanage and there's a bunch of kids and Oliver. Yes, that's what it was. Yes. That's what it was. So they did Oliver, and you know, one of the key scenes in that is where the child wants more food, so they take the bowl up, and it's so related to the mission of the Empty Bowls program, where we're raising money for food pantries. So all that is just, you know, related, and kind of gives me chills. This is another project I did with the developmentally disabled people. And it took weeks to make these, but they just loved it. We had these patterns to make birds. We did hand sewing. They got to choose whatever colors they wanted, and then we made the feet out of wire. And so they were really pleased.
That's felt, right?
Felt, yes, different colors of felt and embroidery floss. I particularly like doing collage with kids, but I make them paint their backgrounds first, because if you glue the pictures down first and then you try to paint around the pictures, that's kind of a difficult thing to do. And again, you know, I tell them your picture, you know, your animals or whatever you're putting in your picture has to have a world to live in. You can't just let it float on the paper. I mean, you could, but it's more interesting to give them a world to live in. This project is with painted paper, which is something I just got excited about this year. And I actually have some more samples up here. And it's really, really fun because we take the paper in one class and we kind of, let me get out of there, we kind of squeegee the paint on, and then they make like sheets of warm colors and sheets of cool colors, and then they cut shapes out and make a collage out of painted paper. And you know, it's just, you know, each shape that they cut out has so much variation that it's beautiful. And we, like I said, we serve all ages from preschool. And this was a Mother's Day project where we had we were painting terracotta pots, and then we planted flower seeds in them. So you know, sometimes things are very simple, sometimes things are a little bit more involved. But in my room anyway, the mothers come in and stand behind the kids. It's so funny. And then we have all different kinds of activities for elementary kids. These were two kids in our summer camp. It's probably kind of hard to see what they made there, but they're little pipe cleaner people, and these two boys were just in love with it. We were having an Olympics theme that week. And so we made these little bendy people. There's beads like at the joints. There's a bead at the elbow and the shoulder and the knees and stuff. So they could bend them into sort of any sports shape. And the boys in particular loved that one. And I got it off the internet. We have teenage classes. This was from a spring teen art fling. It was like a 2-day workshop that we had over spring break at Whetstone, and a lot of us from different rec centers went and helped with it. We had pottery, and we had glass fuse, you know, when you make the beads, and we had a couple other activities, and they could cycle through them. So that was a fun activity. A lot of times we have something called family art, which again, when I first started almost 7 years ago, I thought, well, how can I come up with something that both the adults and the kids will enjoy? It's not hard. Guess what? Everybody likes the same thing. It's so fun. So this gentleman brought his twin daughters, and we were doing, we had India ink, and then we put the straw and blow the India ink, and they put watercolor down first for kind of a background, but the kids loved it, and the parents. I like to do projects where the parents can help, but they aren't going to do it for the kids. There's like an element of it that, you know, is very kid-friendly, and then there's an element of it that the parents can help with. And everybody loves it. So for more information on any of these, if you know a child that you want to get into an arts program in one of the community recreation centers, we have 30 community recreation centers. They're all around the city. There's a pink paper up here with a list of the centers, the address, the phone number, but you can also get on the internet and go to columbusrecparks.org. There's a database there where